We have with us in the studio, as you rightly pointed out, Olusegun Ortega Emero, who is the, well, APC leader, one of the leaders in Delta State, because now it's not clear who precisely leads the APC in Delta State. Who does? You're welcome to Sunrise Daily, sir.
Thank you, Mark. It's interesting to be here.
Yes.
And to hear the conversation that has been started by Tona Ogboro.
Are you the leader of the APC in Delta State?
Mark, let me answer this way. First, we are discussing the violence that happened at the convention. I really want to apologize to the president, who is the leader of APC in the nation, that Delta State again had a problem, and it was at the time he was speaking that that problem arose. It's shameful. I really apologize to the president on behalf of Delta people and Delta APC. I ran the governorship election in 2015. I'm the leader of APC in Delta State. Even throughout when we had crisis, when it was resolved, because we have a minister, Dr. Ibe Kashiku. Two of us were put together because he's the highest appointed officer in the state. So we call ourselves co-leaders, but indeed, I'm the leader of the party in the state to answer that question. Can I continue to discuss what Tona has
just before
said?
we get into that, because he says that you were the leader before, you know, Mr. Ogboro entered the party, that when your boss or your former boss comes back into a particular party, you would have to step down. Do you agree with him?
Ogboro cannot call himself my boss. Ogboro was somebody I was sponsoring in opposition. He was running as opposition leader in DPP, and I put my finances to support him, to help him, because I believe Delta State must be rescued from PDP, who has been running the state since 1999, receiving resources that are humongous, you know, Delta State, and nothing to show for what has been received. And we as determined Delta people, we are supporting opposition we consider strong. So we were helping Ogboro to be governor. And then, because of his own ambition, he doesn't even receive those help. He doesn't accept it, he doesn't work with it. We notice that he cannot continue to be the face of opposition. So DPP, at a time, if you remember Senator Ewerido, Pius Ewerido, who died,
now, yeah,
was one of the arrowhead that went to the Senate. And he saw through that, look, the opposition must produce a stronger direction because Ogboro has lost it completely. So, well, right now you're in the same party, and it would seem that you have factions within the party. What transpired while the president was delivering his speech on Saturday? Let me tell you, the lawlessness that is in this country sometimes. People don't want to obey constituted authority. What are we talking about? Delta State, like a few other states, there were incidents of parallel congresses, if you remember. But there's only one authority, the National Working Committee of the party. They organize the congresses. They send people to the state. The people who went to the state supervised the congresses from ward level to local government level and to state level. They brought report back to them. They set up appeal panels to look at complaints of people. Those who organize the parallel this thing, they look at their complaint. And at the end, the National Working Committee sat down and approved those congresses that follow the guideline. And after that, the state chairmen were sworn in. And the state chairman went back to the state and swore in local government chairman. After that, those ones swore in ward chairman. The delegates that will come to this convention were elected in that process. So you notice that in many states where they have the parallel congress, the matter died naturally because the working committee has taken this whole process and the approved delegates and party structure is settled. In few states where that has not, where those who connect parallel congress, like the Ogboro group, were not satisfied, they went to court. Some of them are taking other decisions, but we must follow rules. Now, what has happened, what happened there is that the Ogboru people will not accept the authority of the National Working Committee. They had Senator Magege, who, of course, is playing at the national as a senator. He got himself into the National Convention Committee and got himself posted to become the secretary of the Accreditation Committee. Now, the Accreditation Committee is the committee that designed the way people will come into the hall. You know what he did? He decided the approved delegate list by the National Working Committee. He ignored it on his own and put delegates or names that are not known to the National Working Committee who belong to Ogboru Group as delegates. On the day, we saw that because he was a member of the Accreditation Committee, this is going to be a problem. We reported to the chairman of the convention. I'm a member of the convention committee as well, but I'm in the subcommittee of finance. I'm not in accreditation. So I met with Governor Badaro, who is the chairman. I met with the secretary, Senator Udoma Egba, and pointed out, we even wrote a petition that Senator Magege should not be the secretary of that committee because we know what he can do. They don't give up. The parallel thing they did was not sanctioned. He's been settled by the working committee. We knew this could happen. They assured us that it will not happen. Now, what happened? He printed a booklet which was not, we asked the chairman, he said no booklet was going to be printed. He went and printed a booklet and put names and excluded all the real delegates of Delta.
At what time did you discover this? At what point did you discover that this was what had happened?
We knew that there would be problem. We've been talking to the governor and the secretary Thursday, Friday. On Friday during the accreditation, our people went to the accreditation center. They locked them out because they said their names are not there. That is when we found that. And then we called the governor. We called the officials of the convention, and they made arrangement for us to come into the hall because they knew our delegates were the correct delegates. So that took a lot of time. They that manipulated the accreditation had the opportunity to accredit themselves. So they went ahead, as it appeared, into the hall.
So on Friday, you already saw danger coming, and you raised the alarm. You were able to get accredited on that Friday?
No, accreditation took place on Saturday.
It took place on Saturday. Yeah. Were your people able to get tags, even though you said you had to get into a hall? You had to make lots of phone calls to be able to get into the hall for your people to get accredited? No,
not at the hall.
Okay.
The hall, we couldn't get into the accreditation hall.
So that was...
That was on Saturday morning.
On Saturday morning, okay.
You understand? Because accreditation was supposed to be from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock. We couldn't get accreditation. So we started to make calls and get directive from the convention committee. And they gave us, the opportunity to come into the hall because we are the proper delegates. The delegates were signed off by the National Working Committee. They have a list. We have a list. Those lists were compared. And they realized that the names that Omagege put in the booklet were strange names. We are not the name that were signed off by the National Working Committee. So they made special arrangement for us to get into the hall, into the arena. So
what the story about going to go and eat, that because there were stories about your people already being seated, or they stood up to go and eat, and by the time they got back, their seat had already been taken, and so there was anger.
No. I don't know who put out that story. Where did that story come from? That is not correct.